Well, guys, I just got back, just saw Paddington in Peru, and I gotta say, I enjoyed it for the most part. It's not perfect, and I will get to that, but yeah, I went to an early access screening. This technically isn't out until Valentine's Day, but as I usually do with movies, I'm going to give a spoiler free review. So, going into this, I was wondering just how different it was going to be from the other two, given that Paul King didn't return to write or direct it. Beyond coming up with the general story, I think he was working on Wonka at the time they were making this or something. But yeah, he gave the other ones a certain quality, which I feel made them, I don't know, just gave them this sort of whimsical children's book quality that really fit the story and characters. And there are a few touches of that here, but it does feel a bit more generalized and actually, I gotta say, a bit zanier. Sometimes a bit too zany for its own good. You know, sometimes you watch those sequels where the plot gets so ridiculous you just wonder what they were thinking. I wouldn't say this film ever gets there, but it comes close a few times for me, especially towards the end. As I said, I'm not going to give anything away, but if I had heard any rumors as to where this was going to go, I would have thought it had to have been made up because I just could not have predicted this. But that's not to say it's bad. I think you have to remember the target audience for these films are families and kids, and I don't think there were any kids sitting there thinking, this is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Also, I mean, it's a film series about a talking bear that lives with a family of humans in London, so I shouldn't be surprised when it gets a little silly. Also, that wasn't the whole movie for me. I did enjoy the story overall. The director, Dougal Wilson, does have a different style, but I will say he seems to be very good at comedy. There were a lot of visual gags that I thought were timed just right. There's this chase sequence at the end as well, which uses a lot of tropes you've seen before, but I feel like he fit them together in different ways and gave them slightly different timing that I don't know, it just really worked. Also, the cast, of course, helped with the comedy. Ben Winshaw is still just the perfect Paddington. I couldn't imagine anybody else in the role. Hugh Bonneville, always very good as Mr. Brown. Emily Mortimer did a really good job taking over from Sally Hawkins as Mrs. Brown. There was no point in the movie where I was thinking, man, it's weird, it's a different actress. She just fit in so well. Antonio Banderas, he was great. Again, without giving anything away, he kind of has multiple parts in the movie. I thought it was fun seeing him play these separate characters as well as his main one. The only thing about the humor is, I will say there were a couple of jokes that didn't work for me. Didn't quite land properly. Like, minor spoiler, there's a bit near the beginning where one of the nuns takes up an acoustic guitar and randomly does this little musical number that I don't know, it wasn't built up to or anything. It doesn't, and when it ends, it just ends. Like, I don't know, it just, I wasn't sure if it quite fit. I guess there is kind of a payoff to it at the very end of the movie, but not much of one, and I don't know, it just seemed like this random add-on. Also, there was one joke at the end where I was watching it, and you could tell what was going to happen just before it happened, and I was like, oh no, please don't do this. This isn't the 90s. We don't need to bring this back. Oh, they did it. But then something more interesting happened after that, and it was very brief, and I don't know, I forgave it. So, all in all, would I recommend this movie? Yes. If you and your family just want a fun, clean, funny adventure, there are a few moments where I laughed. I think the whole family could get fun out of this. I think it's definitely worth seeing, especially if you liked the first two films. I'd give it a solid, 7 out of 10. But that's all for me, guys. If you saw the movie, let me know what you thought. If you're looking forward to seeing the movie, if you're not seeing the movie, let me know why. And I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.